Alright, so here is the video example for topic 21, lesson 2. So this is also the distance learning assignment for April 27th, Monday. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do number 1 here in the consolidation. I'm going to have you then do 2. I'll show you how to do 3, and then you're going to do 4. You can skip 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the homework, I want you to do these problems. I'm going to do one of them for you. These are really important problems to be able to do. Number 1 through A through F, excuse me. And then this is very similar to what we did on the consolidation. I'd like you to do 2 as well, and then you can skip 3, 4, 5, and then do the staying sharp. And then, yeah, just take pictures of your work and email that to me. So let's jump back up here to the consolidation. Number 1 it says line L has the equation y equals 2x minus 4. Line M has the equation y equals 5 minus x. First thing we need to do is graph each line on the coordinate plane. So if you remember, if we have something in mx plus b form, it's called slope-intercept form. We call it that because it gives us the slope, how the line moves from point to point, and then it gives us the intercept, which is actually the y-intercept. So that's where this, whatever the value is there, that's where you know the line is going to hit the y-axis. So in this case, your y-intercept is it's 4, but there's a subtraction. This is actually a negative 4. So we're going to mark right here. And now, in order to know how this line goes from to the next point, I need to look at the slope. Well, the slope is 2. And if you're ever looking at a slope that is 2, well, you got to think of that as a rise over a run. So we have to turn that number into a fraction. And if it's a whole number, we just divide it by 1, because any number divided by 1 is just itself. And now we know we can go up 2 and over 1, over to the right one. So we're up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And I keep making these points here. And I'm going to go down this way. So I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to go over to the left one, but down 2. And that's how I'm going to be able to see this. Do my best to connect that. This is called line L, so just make an L right there. Now let's do the same thing with this next equation. It's written a little differently, but I can actually rewrite this. This is a positive 5 here, and then it's actually, we're subtracting an x. I can rewrite this as y equals negative x plus 5. Because remember, subtraction is the same thing as adding a negative. Well, now I can see my y-intercepts at 5. And then what is the slope here? Well, anytime you see just a negative sign, that's actually negative 1. So we're going to look at that as a rise over run of negative 1 over 1. So that means we're going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So anytime it's negative, it goes down. Now we're going over. So we're going to see it goes kind of through here. Okay, and that's our line M. Complete the following. Name a point that is on line L but not on line M. Well, let's check here. I'm going to use this point right here. One that's on line L is point 0, negative 5. One that's on line M, and then the other one is, or this is negative 4, sorry, is 5, 0. And the one that they both have, I'm pretty sure, my graph's off a little bit, but it looks like they meet at this point, which is at 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. I write that as a coordinate. Now, this is actually the solution to the system. It's where they intersect. Okay, So you are going to use these notes to do the same thing for 2. And then number 3, you do the same thing. What's different about this though is we need to rewrite these first. So I'm going to do that real quickly here to kind of show you, because we want to graph them. So if I have x plus 2y equals 4, how do I get this into y-intercept form, which is just y by itself on one side? Well, let's get this x, let's cancel it out on this left side, but I got to do the same thing to both sides. So it's gone on that left side. I'm left with just the 2y. And now over here, I have 4 minus x. Remember, you can think of this subtraction as actually just adding a negative. So I'm going to write this as negative x plus 4. Well, now I need to, it's 2 y's. I need to divide by 2 to everything to get that y by itself. So now it's y, the 2's cancel out. And now I have a negative x over 2. And then 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So this equation, I can see its y-intercept is here at 2. And now what is the slope? Well, the slope is actually, remember, there's always a 1 in front of the x. So the slope of this is actually, I'll write it over here, is negative 1 over 2. So that means I'm going down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So it's going to kind of go through there. Now let's rewrite the other one and see if we can figure out where they meet. So I got negative x equals negative 1/2 x equals y plus 2. Well, remember, I want a y by itself. This time it's on the right side of the equation, but that's not actually going to matter. You can write equations, the y can be on the left side or the right side, as long as it's by itself. Let's subtract 2 from both sides. Well, now this side is going to be 1/2 x minus 2 equals y. Well, this is in y-intercept form, it's just the y is now on the right side of the equation instead of the left. But we can still see our y-intercept and our slope. So my y-intercept now is negative 2. Now my slope is up 1 over 2 because it's a 1 over 2. So I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, bam. And you're already going to see where it looks like they meet, which is going to be at the point 4, 0. So that is going to be our solution, 4, 0. Now what they mean by check is that we need to plug a 4 and a 0 back into these two equations for x and y and see if it works. So let's just do that real quick. So if I plug in a 4 here for the x using this and a 0 here for the y, what do I get? Well, I get 4 plus 2 times 0 equals 4. That cancels. Yeah, 4 equals 4. That works. Let's do the same thing here. I'm going to plug in a 4 here and that 0 here. So this is going to be a half of 4, because I'm plugging in 4 for the x, and then 0 plus 2. What's half of 4? 2. What's 0 plus 2? 2. So yes, that works. So you're going to do the same thing for number 4 here. Skip 5, 6, 7, and 8. Your homework, you're doing substitution. So what you're really just doing is, see, y equals x, so that means I'm going to substitute x in here, and then you're going to solve. That's what you're doing for all these. This one, you're going to have to rewrite. So this one's going to be a little tougher. But send me your notes on that if you have questions. Number 2, same thing we did in consolidation. Give that a shot. Then you can skip 3, 4, and 5. And that will bring us to the staying sharp question on rectangles here. Remember common denominators. You're going to have to find a common denominator between 5 and 9 to add those. Let's go down here. You're going to have to do some substitution. So that means you're taking that negative 1, you're going to plug it into both of these x's and then evaluate. A little shape equations for 4. This is a good problem to help with exponents. And then order of operations and some questions here. This looks good. All right, well, good luck, and this is your assignment for Monday, April 27th. Take care.